Shalom. Let me get straight into this lesson. So I'm gonna get into 2 videos going into this Maduro thing. And see, the Edomites, all they do is lie. They lied. They created this controlled narrative that it was about stopping him from running drugs. But I'm gonna get into this video and this other video, and it's gonna break it down to really what this is about. Let's get into it.
States of America just captured Maduro, the president of Venezuela, and also took control of Venezuela's oil and saved the dollar. But here's what's actually going on, and why Venezuela matters so much. Venezuela sits on the largest proven oil reserves on Earth, over 300 billion barrels, more than Saudi Arabia. On a map, it looks small. Economically, it's massive. For decades, global oil has been priced in US dollars. That system, called the petrodollar, keeps the dollar dominant worldwide. When countries try to break away from it, history gets tense. Iraq switched to euros. Libya pushed gold-backed oil. Both challenged the system, and both disappeared from the global stage. Today, the pressure comes from China. Beijing built alternatives to SWIFT, expanded BRICS trade, and pushed oil deals in yuan. If major oil producers abandon the dollar, U.S. financial power weakens. That's why Venezuela isn't just about oil. It's about who controls energy flows. The United
Right, so you see the real true narrative, and it gets deeper than that. It's really more sinister than you can ever think, But these devils want to, the J people use America as that military might, and they do the financial system is out of London, which trickles through the dollar system, right? The American dollar, and this is how they control the world. So I'm gonna get into this other video. Give me 1 second. Right, so let me get into this secondary video. Let me say this too before I get into this. These so-called reporters are all propagandists. They're all full of shit. They all this is pretty much they have to go off a certain script. They can't ask certain questions, so these not real reporters. They just propagandists. And that's why really to get the truth of things, you have to go to alternative media. That's how bad it is, because the mainstream media is full of shit. These dummies, you know what I'm saying, that they want that $150,000 a year paycheck, right? So they all sellouts, and you're not going to really get any truth or any real reporting through these. That's all of them: CNN, MSNBC, so on and so forth.
The White House, according to Caroline Leavitt, cooperating and working with the U.S. on this plan for the oil.
Look, I'm gonna read this. Saddam Hussein, you remember what they did to him? They created a false narrative, invaded him because he went on the euro. He went away from the dollar. Gaddafi was at Amoria Gaddafi, something like that. I forget how you say his first name. But you see what he did. He was going to go and use the dinar and go on the gold-backed system, and you see what happened to him. So you see the pattern. This is that hammer of the whole earth that has done so many things, so much wickedness, you can't put it into one lifetime. So I'm going to read this, what he's saying. Saddam Hussein. It says, if you want to control the world as a whole, you must control the all. It says one of the most important requirements, and I'm going to say this too, kind of jumping around, Nicolas Maduro actually was calling out the J people before all this happened. He was calling out the J people, which controlled America and Israel. He was calling them out. And then like a few weeks later, this is what happened to him. It says, for controlling the oil is destroying Iraq. And it was Hugo Chavez, same old shit, these devils. This is what they do. They come and steal, kill, destroy, and then they play the victim, but yet they the villain, País de Estados Unidos no quiere la paz. Quiere
ponernos su modelo de explotación y de saqueo y su hegemonía a punta de guerras.
And if there is a country that has committed unspeakable atrocities in the world, it is the United States of America. They don't care.
وخلاص أصدقائنا الأمريكان يجاوبون على
Muammar Gaddafi, however you want to say it. Yeah, so you saw what they did to him.
السؤال اللي حاير، لماذا العراق؟ شو سبب له؟ فيها سلاح دمار شامل عند العراق ما عنده. كيف يصير حرب يشنط؟
Keep game.
وخلاص
He says, let our American friends answer this question, which he's been sarcastic, right?
لماذا العراق؟
Why Iraq? What is the reason?
شو سبب له؟ فيها سلاح دمار.
Were there weapons of mass destruction in Iraq?
شامل عند العراق ما عنده.
No, there were not. So they lied about that. That's a common thing that they lied about the weapons of mass destruction. And I don't want to say too much, but it gets a lot deeper and more sinister. And they got proof of all this stuff that I'm saying that is true.
كيف يصير حرب يشنط؟ ورئيس دولة عربية عضو بالجامعة العربية. وممكن الدور جاي عليكم كلكم.
What happened to the peace president, you guys? Hey, MAGA! Where's your peace president? He is as much...
And them dumb fucking MAGA knuckleheads, bird brain, monkey minded, they actually believe in this fucking political system. You know, they dumb as just as Jake, you know, these so-called, these MAGA supporters, you know.
Much a warmonger as any president we've ever had. We're going to attack Iran. Full force attack. A decapitation, conquer Israel, United States together. We're going to attack Iran.
You heard that?
Iran is going to react with tremendous military force. That will result in many things, including the temporary, if not elongated, reduction or stoppage of oil coming out of the Strait of Hormuz, which is about, 25-30% of the oil that we use in the United States. So if that happens, we have to have an oil backup.
You heard that?
Enter Venezuela. So we are setting the stage so we can have the oil reserves from Venezuela to make up for the lack of oil coming out of Iran and the Persian Gulf after the war is launched against Iran. That's what's going on here.
Yeah, I mean, right on the money. Now, how they orchestrate this, how long this takes, we don't know. But World War III is a part of prophecy, and it's coming. And that's why you got brothers that's, you know, tired. They you got some brothers falling out of the truth. It ain't the time to do that. But it went for them to endure anyway. So let's go here. I didn't want to make this too long. I'm gonna show you again to prove that this is Babylon. It says Revelation 18, and I'm gonna start at 6. It says, reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her according to her works. It says, in the cup which she had filled with her double. This is talking about America. It says, how much she had glorified herself and lived deliciously. These elites, you know, live, it will blow your mind. The yachts the size of, you know, apartment complexes. But yet the people are looked at as goyim and peasants. The people that they, the people they look down on, the goyim, as they call them. It says, so much torment and sorrow give her. For she shall say in her heart, I sit a queen, and I am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. So that's the equivalency of them saying, like, Donald Trump was very proud when he said America can't be touched. He was going into all that. We the greatest, blah, blah, blah. The pride of Esau Edom. It says Revelation 18:8. A lot of you citizens that's outside the truth, you think the same way. You think this kingdom is going to be up forever. In every great kingdom, the people thought the same way. They thought the kingdom would never fall. But look at you looking at the ruins of all these ancient kingdoms. It says Revelation 18:8. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine. So how you people get God is all love and the Bible's all about us all coming together? You got to be out your effing mind. And she shall be utterly burned with fire. These the missiles, and you're going to have so-called UFOs going to shoot down on this place like the movie Independence Day. Go look that scene up. When there's chariot hovered over that building, and it was on top of the building, and they thought something good was about to happen, but it shot that laser down and destroyed pretty much that whole city. It says, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. For strong is Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua who judges her. So these things are being noted. These things are being taken down. Every little evil act these devils do is all being recorded. Revelation 18:9. It says, and the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and live deliciously with her. So you have these prime ministers, these heads of states, so on and so forth, these presidents of these other countries, these elites, these oligarchs have made alliance with this system, with the dollar, and they've been able to benefit, live a good life while most of their people suffer. They have taken bribes and all kind of stuff, man, these other leaders. It says, and live deliciously with her, shall bewail her and lament for her. When they should see the smoke of her burning, that's going to be this place. America is going to be on fire with these missiles, and chariots going to shoot down on this place. It's going to be a desert. Once the fire eventually go out, this place is going to be a memorial, going to be a desert. It says Revelation 18:10, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, alas, alas, that great city, Babylon, that mighty city, because this is a mighty empire. That's how they was able to go in Venezuela and do that mission that they did to round up a president of a country, a whole country, because they've been given that ability to do that from the Lord. It says, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. So it's going to take 1 hour for this place to be destroyed. It says Revelation 18:11. It says, I want you to pay attention to this part. It says, and the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buy their merchandise anymore. Let me show you something real quick. That's how you know it's talking about America. I was actually going into global trade and, this and that. I think I'm looking for right here. It says, I put in the question, what country imports the most? It says the United States consistently imports the most goods globally. You hear this? So this going back, and the Bible is a living document. It says Revelation 18:11, showing that this is America. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buy their merchandise anymore. That's that trade and trade, all the stuff that's been, this is the most consumer-driven nation in the world. That's why all these countries send their goods over here. That's why you look on the back of all these different products made in India, made in China, made in Taiwan, made in Mexico, so on and so forth. It says Revelation 18. Matter of fact, I'm running out of time, but you get the gist of it. So it's showing all these things that this country consumes. And you get it. Read the rest of chapter 18. It's going to break it all down, showing you that this is that great city, Babylon, the great America. Hopefully this lesson was edifying. Call Hala Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rachat, Kodash. Shalom.